Okay, my speech today is about drug abuse in America, reality to recovery. The Federal Bureau of Narcotics estimate there to be 1 million drug addicts in America each year. It also estimates 570,000 will die due to their drug usage. 46% of the American population has used illicit drugs in their lifetime. 32% of those used alcohol before the age of 13, and 11% used marijuana before the age of 13. I became a drug user at the age of 14 when I first started drinking. My addiction progressed over the next 18 years. I saw people overdose, was admitted to several treatment programs, and had various arrests during those 18 years. I was lucky to find recovery and not to be one of the 10 million who died during their usage during those 18 years that I used. Drug addiction in America is a reality of which some choose not to listen and see. This speech is designed to inform you about the disease of addiction and the hope of recovery. There's a few definitions here of some familiar words with the correct definitions, and these words are used during the speech. Drug addiction is a disease that can happen to anyone. It is an epidemic in America, and no one of any race, rage, or social status is immune. Drugs do not discriminate. Addiction is a chronic, recurring brain disease. It is expressed through compulsive behavior and is characterized by compulsive, at times uncontrollable drug cravings, seeking, and use that persist even in the face of negative consequences. Who is an addict? An addict is a man or woman whose life is controlled by drugs. People in the grip of a continuing and progressive illness whose ends are always the same: jails, institutions, and death. That's from IP number 7, Who is an Addict? Narcotics World Services Incorporated, copyright 1983 and 1988. You can see from this diagram here that the upward progression of usage by the American population from 1999 to 2006. Many people think recovery is simply not using drugs. Recovery does not stop with just being clean, as addicts abstained from all drugs also have to face feelings not dealt with successfully, which is a lot of why addicts continue their usage so long. People do not understand why individuals become addicted to drugs or how drugs can change the brain to foster compulsive drug abuse. They mistakenly view drug abuse and addiction as a social problem, and many characterize those who use drugs as morally weak. One common belief is that drug abusers should be able to stop using drugs if they are willing to change their behavior. What people underestimate is the complexity of addiction, that is, the disease that impacts the brain, and because of that, stopping is simply not a matter of willpower. This is where recovery comes in. I went to 3 treatment programs, but what worked for me was Narcotics Anonymous. Simple, not religious program. That's from IP number 6, Recovery and Relapse, Narcotics Anonymous, World Service, copyright 1976 and 1986. Narcotics Anonymous is a non-profit fellowship for men and women for whom drugs have become a major problem. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. IP number 16 for the newcomer, Narcotics Anonymous World Service, copyright 1983. The program offers hope. All you have to do is the desire to stop using and the willingness to try this new way of life. The 12 steps, sponsors, and new friends all help through the process of recovery. As you've seen in the speech, addiction is a disease, not a social problem, and recovery is possible. In active addiction, insanity, institutions, and death are the only ends, and in recovery, through the help of a higher power and the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous, anything is possible.
Thank you. Can we ask questions now, Kelly?
No.
No questions?
Nope.
Great eye contact, by the way.
I know.